Or maybe, yes, okay, cool. Why is that happening? I don't know. I just have to unplug and replug in the cable. And like I'm getting the audio, and so I'm typing the audio through the microphone's output so I can listen to that. And usually if I can't hear the audio, like the music, then that means I can't, like, you can't hear me. But in this case, I could hear the music, but you couldn't hear me. So that's fun. I need to go find that cable upstairs and replace this one. That's the only thing I can think of. It'll be a longer cable, so maybe I can plug it directly into the desktop. But all right, basically it was a hello, how's everybody doing? How's your Sunday going? Be it morning, afternoon, evening, night, whenever. Hopefully pretty well. Great, awesome, that's great to hear. So I just brewed my tea. Well, I'm brewing my tea. It's sitting here next to me. And where did we leave off? So we fixed all of the errors, the hard errors, and we're back to exactly where we were, except now our queries are different. Now we can have a different number of components per everything. And it actually makes it really cool for being able to do some like complex queries of entities. And all right, I was gonna say, like, I'm surviving a lot longer than I thought I would while having like full thrust applied. Okay, so the idea here is I want to create a message at the beginning, and whenever we're dead, of like, oh, you have this many lives left, press something like enter to start. So we have here and create message. It will take this message as a stir. It will create a text. It'll set its font. We're just doing 15 right now. I want to say this needs to be bigger, like 25, but I don't remember. It returns that text, which means in the main library, we could then create this. All right, so here's insert message into world. Here's our message. Press enter to start the game. Here's our screen size and the context. So we can head over here. Oh, you've not paid much attention to this game before? That looks awesome. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's having like building the ECS crate, like the ECS crate itself is hard to like sort of get up and going. Once we have it, everything is so much simpler in my mind. Part of it is because I've written it, so I have a lot more information. If somebody else tried to use it, I think it would be a terrible, terrible, terrible experience. Which I hope I've written into the README a few different times. That way, nobody stumbling across it actually tries to use it. Unless they really, really, really want to challenge. But okay, insert message into world. So here I have this message. We then create the message. We create a location for the message, which is the exact center of the screen. We then do this world spawn entity with the location, with the message. Okay, so with the marker and with the message. And that's it. That should work now. Now, are we registering for those? We're registering no message. We have to register a message. Wait, no, we did. Okay, it's up here. These are registers. Why do I need BBECS to be downloaded for Asteroids instead of using the Git dependency for it? Oh, I don't really need it to be downloaded for that. I think the main reason is so I can just go make a really quick change right here locally to it and then see it immediately. That's the only reason. And then at the end, I'll like switch it over to the version that's deployed to crates.io. It's just for quick development time because I'm constantly having to go back into BBECS to like sort of tweak something to like make it work a little bit better with this game. I'm using the old version of Winit, which doesn't run on X11. Where did you see Winit? Stacking, hello! Oh, it's the GG, yeah, GGZ, like that's I don't know if it's gonna work with the latest version of GGZ either. If I update that. When Bevy comes out and it's like a lot closer to like stable, I wonder, like, that might work a lot better. Then I could do everything inside, because if it works truly with X11, then I can do everything inside of the what is it called? The Windows Subsystem for Linux, WSL. That would be really nice. Oh, you're playing with you. Awesome, Stacking. Let me know how it is. I've like loaded up the tutorial a couple different times, but I've never actually like done more than spin up their like test project and take a look at it. It's something I do want to eventually look into. All right. Okay, so if I have that message there, if I do that, then the other thing we need to do is a draw. So for drawing in the message, what are you upset about? What did I do? Did I delete that semicolon? I must have. Okay, then in our draw system. So here's where things get a little bit different. I almost need like a draw text system, because this draw is just for like all the normal things. I think I want like a draw message system. So let's actually just write that out. So draw. Now I'm curious, because I don't think I've played with it and I've seen other people do it. If I just do like draw message.rs, does that work? Pub mod draw message. Yeah, okay, so it wants it to be snake case. In which case it can't find the file. That's what I thought. So you can't be that. If I do draw message with a hyphen, that also doesn't work out. Okay, so I do need to have these be in snake case. That's what I thought. I just saw some other libraries not doing them, and I was wondering whether or not that was like something that works. I'm pretty sure it's not going to work with GGEZ because they're not re-exporting some of the things that I'm using, but that'll be interesting to see. I also I had trouble getting GGEZ 0.6 to work on my computer. Like just getting like a hello world, like a blank screen showing up, just compiling it, which is really sad because I don't think there's going to be another big update for a long time, if any, since Icefoxen has stepped down as the main owner of the project, and until somebody else sort of steps in to take over. Okay, so if we have this, we're doing a draw message. All right, pub function, draw message system. So we know we're going to need the world. That could just be a reference to the world. We know we're going to need a context. I don't know if we need anything else for this. We know we're going to need to return a result. So I'm going to return an error result. So I don't need to actually return anything at all. And then, okay, so we're going to do our draw message system. So we need to query out. Oh, there's a ton of errors. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, looks like a bunch of stuff doesn't implement sync anymore in the newer GGZ versions. Yeah, not testing my game then. Yeah, okay. So I would probably need to like write something from scratch specifically for 0.6. Which maybe we can test out for the next one just to see if like if it works in Windows. But I vaguely remember it not working on Linux. Or maybe it was the other way around. Maybe it worked on Linux but not on Windows. One of the two. Okay, first thing we want to do is we want to query for all the messages. So and we're gonna need the mesh and the location. Oh, we need the text and the location. With Piston, getting your sync game working again was a matter of changing some version numbers and 3 lines of code. Obviously each framework is going to be different. I think though, like after GGEZ, the only game engines I'm really like interested in checking out, like diving deeper into, would be probably Bevy and or Godot. Okay, so queries equal to not Amethyst. I don't know, like I haven't really felt like the need for Amethyst. Like I feel like the next thing would be Bevy after Amethyst, and so why not just skip to the end? I don't know, like I guess I haven't had like a compelling reason to like try Amethyst yet. Whereas like with Godot, I can do like 3D, the graphical editor might be nice. Also seeing everybody on Twitch using Godot has been like very inspiring to try out. And Bevy is like the new thing, the new kid in town, and it also seems like I've been following this development and it's moving pretty quickly, and I'm liking the way it's going. All right, so we're gonna do a world.query. So we hand it a vector of names that we want. So I don't need like the IDs. It's gonna be names. Use, I think, is it creates helpers. Oh, names. There we go. You're not finding any of this stuff in here. Let's try it again. Still no? Let's see. I think the only thing is text. Is that what I called it? Message. Names message. Oh, yes, to clarification about Godot, I would want to use the Rust bindings to write Rust in Godot. That's the big thing. So like Mr. Halsey, or let's see who else has been using it recently, because like Peyton hasn't been using it for like a couple months now. I want to say like 4 or 5 different people are using Godot right now with Rust. Okay, so if I just get the message, oh, I need the location. So give me everything that's a message and a location, and that's it. Don't give me anything else. I mean, yeah, that's true. Like if you're like learning, like the first project would probably have to be the whatever version that they have, which like I don't have a problem with many different languages, like learning all those and doing that. I think that's fine. I guess like if Bevy or one of the other languages has like a sort of like the same type of editor that I guess like that's the reason why I like the idea of Godot is like the visual editor similar to Unity. I like the idea of that because I think it's very attractive to a lot of people, and if you can get the Rust bindings, that will get even more people involved. Okay, so we get our queries. Let's extract those really quickly. So we're going to get our messages is equal to queries 0. Locations is equal to queries of 1. And I think the message is the actual text. Yeah, yes, it is. And so I think I just draw that out then. So then we can do a for need index message in do messages iter enumerate. All right, so we have the index. Go ahead and also that to make you happy. Okay, so we have our index and we have our message. We want to convert the message back into text. So let message equal to a data wrapper with text inside, I want to say, and then you're going to be a reference. Equals message dot ast. That? No, that seems very wrong. Hold on. What am I doing with the other ones of these? How about draw? Okay, so we're getting here. Yeah, it's exactly like this. Okay, so I need the components cast components. Are you not finding it for me? So a single message. Message. Bool. Why do you think you're a Boolean? Wait a second. What do you think you are? Wait, did I have 2 equals in there? Oh, I had 2 equals in there. Okay, that's my problem. Reference to a data wrapper with text inside. Okay, there we go. So that's one of the few times that the little injected thing screws me up because I had an equals like on the other side of it and I didn't see it because I was looking at this thing. That's fun. Okay, we need to pull you in so you know what that is. All right, so we get our message out. Let's also get our location out. So our location is Rust Analyzer messes you up a few times an hour. Yeah, I mean, when it works the best. When it doesn't work, it's like, it doesn't quite make me want to go back to to something like RLS, but it can get a bit frustrating, especially with like I know how well it can work, especially in for loops with them injecting text right in the middle. Or like this one, I don't know if you saw, like when I was starting to write the query, it was like, okay, your next piece of code after like, I don't know, 12 characters is over here. And I'm like, thank you so much for that. That's no, I'm done. Okay, so, which is why you'll see me like close the sidebar a lot more often, is because I have to, because I need all of this space just to write like a normal line of code. That being said, I do find that like, I think this is helpful for watching on the stream, because then you can see the type of it and you don't have to like figure that, you know, try to like figure that out after the fact, because otherwise I can highlight it and see the type, but I want you all to be able to see the type too. Okay, so we have our location, which is this point. This is going to be our locations index, and then cast you. And there we go. Okay, so now we have the current message and the current location. We can now do a graphics draw, pass in that context, a reference to. So this is gonna be interesting. We need a reference. This is I almost forgot. We need to borrow it. I wonder if I can do this. Can I do a reference and then dereference message dot borrow? This is really kind of like crazy. I have not yet tried NeoVim. It's on my list. You did ask me that before. You know what? I need to like actually write it down in an area where I'm gonna find it. Let's go. I'm still sort of like testing out Obsidian, which is like this markdown editor that gives you this nice little thing here. It's also free and local, and you know, I could just store everything in GitHub. But where would I want to put this? Probably like new folder, like programming, maybe like projects. And in here, you know, like checkout. Bear, hello, good morning. Let's see. I'll just name this projects right now. Sort of experimenting with naming these things. Okay, so we're gonna have links, and I want you to be I guess like tech / programming or whatever to like check out. If I come here, throw this in projects, and let's go ahead and create the list. We'll have NeoVim. There we go. And then the idea here is that in home, I'll just come here, add in a link to it. And then over here, it just gets added in, and I can color that by adding in a new path for projects. And there we go. I wish that I could put home in a center. Nice. I was gonna say, I wish home was always in the center. And now I can sort of see all of the all of my markdown pages for my wiki in here. Rust language support is just as well as in VS Code. Oh, nice. That is nice. Yeah, I've heard good things from NeoVim, also from like other developers that I hang out with in Denver. Okay, so we're gonna do, we give it the drawable, and then we're gonna have the drop params. And I think in this one, the only thing we're gonna do is give it a destination, which is the, we're going to do the location dot borrow, and then we're going to do a to array. Now you're upset. Oh, right, because I don't want to take ownership of you. Go ahead and just borrow out of here. Okay, so we're fine here. Our draw message system. We now want to go into our draw. Let's make this at the very bottom so that everything draws. So we're going to do draw message system. Pass it in a reference to self.world, pass it in context. And we do have to unwrap because this, what is it, result? There, is not compatible with this result. There we go. No errors. So let's see if we have just an error right, like a message right in front. No, okay. Index is out of bounds. The length is 1, but the index is 1. Okay, so that happened in entity data line 72. What's happening there? This is in query. Okay, so it's trying to like find all the things and push them in here. Okay, so what do we got here? In our main library, so insert message to world. So we're going to take the message in. We've got the world and the screen size and the context. We first create the message, which is just the text. We figure out what that text size is to create the location. Then we spawn the component with a location and a message and the marker, which like, I'm not sure I actually need the marker. But okay, we have the message and we have the location. And we're calling this up here. Yeah, so that should be inserting it in to the world. Okay. Which means we should be able to extract it out with a query. And so this is names, location, and names message. So names message and names location. Okay. So give me everything that has both of those, but for some reason, the bitmap isn't working the way I want it to. So let's see if I can maybe recreate this error in a test for BBECS. So if we come down here, function, okay, so if I want to like recreate exactly what we have going on, which is maybe like, let's see if like what we need to actually recreate this problem. Because it crashes right away before anything really gets displayed to the screen. Okay, so I want to do a, we're going to create a world. we're going to register a few things. So world.register. Let's name this. We're going to have a location. And we're going to have a message. So we're trying to make it exactly the same as we have elsewhere. I can create a text without context, which is great because otherwise I would need to get a context for this test, and that would suck. Okay, so creating for a message. Okay, we register location. We would register message. We can now spawn. Okay, we're gonna spawn entity with component. We're gonna do location, and let's do a point. And it doesn't really matter where it goes. Then our message comes in. All right, so message needs to be a text. So a text new testing. Okay. So far, this should be just fine. Oh, you're trying to install WASM pack, but it takes 5 minutes to build before it errors out. This is where Rust and its build time shows. Oh yeah, I agree with that. I had really mixed results with WebAssembly with Rust. Like I felt that I can do close to everything that I wanted, but like the last mile essentially of WebAssembly development just kept on like causing weird little issues and problems. And I think like the big thing for me was the canvas. Like doing everything in Rust for the canvas was really not fun. And I probably could do things like use P5 or 3JS for like canvas manipulation, and then use Rust to do like all of the heavy lifting behind the scenes, and then just use those for like the display only. But there's still a lot of display code. All right, so now let's query this. That queries equals query. It's up there. And we're gonna give it location and message. Okay. So just doing that now, do we run into any problems? No, not yet. Okay. I sort of feel that if we come back into here for the draw message, if I remove all of you and we just have this where it's doing a query, I think that's where it's crashing. It is. Okay, so it's crashing here. So I think then to get this to work out, let's add in like another entity here that has like a location and like something else. It's like world register like size. And before this one, we'll do a world.spawn entity with component. Okay, so we're gonna have a location. It'll be a point new. You can be like 10.0, 10.0 with component, and then I want you to be a size, and you can be like 15.0 F32. This is another entity that we don't want component in the query. So now, do I get a fail? Yes, I do. Okay. So I think it's a bitmap problem. Index out of bounds, the length is 1, but the index is 1. And I wonder when I run this query, we first do this bitmap query here, which then gives us like a vector of bools. I want to debug that. Just to sort of see, like, is it the right shape even? Okay, so for our query, we get true, true, false, true. Looking at down here, we see, okay, we have our component location comes in. I think that they're in this order. Okay, so we have, well, okay, we can see the queries here is location first and messages second. So these are locations, these are messages. So this first component has a location, true. Second component has a location, oh, is it this location and size? I don't remember how the bitmap query works anymore. It was just last week that we made it too. Then we're going to query based upon the names and okay, so based upon this names, we give the name set clone, and then we pass it the names. So if we map out to this, the names was location, so like location and message. So both them have locations, and the first one does not have a message. The second one does have a message. Okay, that's what I'm seeing there. Then we head into entity data query, which gives it the names and this sort of like the map to the names. We loop through the names. Get the components based upon that name. Okay, so we're just taking out the full vector of components and just throwing them into components. So we have a vector of vectors. I wonder if it would be better for us to just do like the double loop inside of here instead of like two loops separately. Because then we go through, okay, for entity index in bitmap. So then we go through the bitmap. And then where exactly was the error? It's any data line 72. So it's this line right here. Hello, Zilby. Just passing through. Yep. Just on the hunt for spiders. Well, I'm guessing that's what he's on the hunt for. He's checking out like the carpet very, very carefully. I caught a spider that was walking across the carpet this morning, and I've got to say, like, I'm trying to get better at like leaving spiders alone if they're just like on the walls or in the corners. And then like in the last month, all the spiders that I've seen are on the carpet. Like they're not on the walls anymore. They're just hanging out on the carpet. And it's like, no. That's not cool. Especially like the ones that are the same color as the carpet. Not cool. And I do worry like Zilby is gonna like get bitten by them sometimes. You can't do that. Last time the spider bit you. Oh no. Yeah, like they're down here in the basement, and like if they're in the corners or whatever, I'm generally okay with it, but like I'm also getting concerned they're gonna bite Zilby, because Zilby has this habit. Like I saw him with a spider. He doesn't like go at it with his paw or anything. He like comes really close with his nose and tries to smell it, and then like touches it with his nose. Because like cats are nearsighted, so they can't really see what, you know, something that's close to him. So he touches it with the nose, and then it like either starts crawling all over him or drops down to the floor and starts running away. And he doesn't have like, I don't know, for a cat, he's not very good at murdering little insects. Oh, you're not even in a basement, you're on the second floor. I am lucky that we haven't had very many spiders on the second floor. They generally come down here where I'm in the basement right now. So most of the time I'll see them like when I'm streaming or before or right afterwards. And then they'll slowly make their way upstairs. And so we can stop them if we catch them. It doesn't happen often, but spiders in a bedroom are the worst. Cats are evil. They'll play with their food for hours before killing them. I know, which is not good when those animals can fight back, which is why we're like, nope, you're not being an outdoor cat. Not without a leash. So we can control what evil you get up to. All right. Where was I? I'm distracting myself. So which one of you are you failing at? 32. Can I see what column I'm on? 32 right here. Okay, so push. So is that you? Current name index then? I'm thinking so. Okay, so component. So component is this. We iterate through components. Oh, you redeemed Pet the Cat. See if Zilby is still here. He was just right here, but he wandered off. Zilby! Zilby? I'm gonna check the bathroom really quickly. Sometimes he's got a new thing where he likes to go lay in a sink because it's like bowl shaped, and I think he likes that shape of bed. I'm gonna go check really quickly. No, I didn't. Gotta have my OBS up so I can see when the microphone goes out. Anyways, I couldn't find Zippy downstairs. I think that he went upstairs because my wife is in the kitchen talking on the phone, and so he probably heard her and is thinking, ooh, maybe I can get a snack. Okay, so what is happening here? We need to figure out like what's going on for you. And I wonder if like my just general logic is wrong for adding these. And you know, we have these other tests here. So I'm testing querying for location name and size name. Location name and size name. Ah. Because like these two have them, and then this one doesn't have it. But this works, right? That works just fine. So what's the big difference here? This is location and size, location and message. The bitmap did seem correct. I sort of feel like we may need to rewrite the query in entity data. Because I just need to go through and verify that things are the way we want them to be. I also wonder if, so for you, our bitmap query is like a vector of these vectors, which, so we saw that. I wonder if I want to make this similar to what we have in I think we can make this a little bit simpler. If we do, okay, let results equals this, name, in names. Okay, so the name and names. What if I return not a vecable? What if I return a hash map? So like a hash map of like the string, and then this would be a vec of booleans. Now, what if I went further along and made it a vector of indexes and had the logic here? No, I don't think I want this to like be too aware of that. So if I just do like a vector of booleans for each of these. So results is going to be our hash map new. This is probably going to be different. Then what I'm going to do is we have our names coming in here. So that's going to be our vector of like, you know, location, size, well, message, whatever. And the names should still be is a string in here, so that's gonna be fine there. So for each, okay, so let's do for name in names. So that gives us a stir here. So it's gonna be the same here. We're gonna give, we'll do it the same way so far. Entity map, get name. Okay, so we've done it the same way so far, and we have a vector of booleans. I just want to clone this vector and throw it in here. That's pretty much what I want to do. So I want to do results dot insert. Oh, results. Insert. Our key is going to be the name dot to owned, and our value is going to be the map dot clone. Now, I wonder if I can get away with having this just be like a reference, in which case I could just give it the map, because it's gonna live long enough, but I don't know if Rust is gonna understand that. So far, it seems to be okay with it. And then we can have this else error. Okay, so if this is the only thing we're doing differently, then we insert you into there, and then we return these results. Okay, so back to mod u. So now we get this hash map of string and vec bool. Okay, so now if I do the debug of the bitmap query, it's not running right now. Right, let's just do okay. We'll just do to do. It'll panic. But we should get the debug out, and that's all that matters. All right, so back to querying here. I should be able to see this query, that debug message pop out. Now I can see, okay, location, true, true, message, false, true. And that should match up to these. We can see, okay, locations is true for this one, and then it's also true for this one. And it's the order that they get inserted in right now. It's the order that they're in the entity map. Okay, then message, so location, true, they both have locations. Message is false, there's no message here, and true here, because there is a message for this one. Okay, so we are correct. This is just a little bit easier for us to read when we're debugging. Okay, so now we're gonna come back to here. Now, let's say I do the same thing here. I'm gonna return you. But our bitmap is now going to be a hash map of a string and a reference to a vec of booleans. Which does make you happy. Okay, so now we have you as errors. I think this is going to make this a little bit simpler for us. Let's go ahead and just sort of reset this. It's just so I don't have to necessarily like. It's not very clean and easy to read, so we need to figure that out too. Okay, so to begin with, we have like a vector of component data. I do wonder if I want to like also make this a hash map return. That might be simpler. As opposed to just like a vector of the vector of data, because then I can get that out. I don't know. if I stick with these, okay, so we have a current name index is a vec of 0 and the bitmap length. Oh, that's how many names that we have. I don't know if we necessarily need that. Yeah, I don't think we need that. Okay, we're gonna have a result as a vector of vector with names.length. So that's where we have this entire thing, vector with this many in them. I don't know if I need to do that specifically. I wonder if I can just do like a vector and then we're gonna push into it. What if I just do like this? Like we have a results is a vector there, and we're gonna push in you. Okay. I don't know if I need this components either, but we're gonna need to go through the names. Now that's not true anymore because now I can just go through the bitmap. So and this is going to give us, I think, key value in bitmap. What do you give me? Oh, 4. Okay. We have the strings. This is going to be the name. Zilby, what's up? Hi. Why? Okay, thank you, Stacking. So what I was trying to say is Zilby's recently discovered the wonderful world of the tops of doors, where he can like jump up to them and hang out on the top and then there's nothing to do up there, so he wants to jump down right away. But every door in the house he wants to get on top of right now. And I think that's what it was. He came down here, he was by the door, he meowed a few times because he wanted me to lift him up, to put him on the top of the door so he can hang out on it for like a couple minutes. And then he wants to come down right away. And he's too scared to jump the, I don't know how many feet it is. down, which I don't know if I want him to jump that far down either. And so then he'll meow again. Maybe I'll do that afterwards. So yeah, that's what that was. He didn't actually want to come and say hi. He just wanted to use me to get on top of the door. So that's cool. All right, so bitmap, let's do this as an iter here, which will give us a reference to the name, and this will give us a reference to the I guess like the map of like this specific vector. So it gives us booleans for here. So now I can use this name to extract out. So if let sum, and this is going to be the components, it's equal to self dot. Like these are like the individual components. Components list, self dot components dot get name. Okay, so now we have this. Now, if this doesn't exist, we want to do this. And if it does exist, okay, so self.components, we got you. Now we have this components list. I kind of want to just go through this map, and for each of these, they should be the same exact length. So I should be able to do an assert. Let's try this. If I do a if map dot length is not equal to components list dot length, then I want to bail, and we're gonna say querying, let's see, map and components list in query doesn't have the same length. So bail is like the equivalent of like an early return. It will automatically do that. It creates like the macro for that for us. So that essentially is just returning an error, and we'll print this screen line out. So that's really nice for us. All right, but if we get past that guard, then, okay, we have to map that length. Okay, so they're the exact same length now. We know that. Our components list now, we want to loop through the components list. So for like, I guess component and the index, we need both of them. So index component in the components list, doesn't really matter. We'll iter and we'll enumerate. Okay, that gives us our index of both of these really, and our component. If map of index, if you are true, then I want to push the thing that I want in. You know what? These are not going to have the same length because we don't put them in. So they're not going to have the same length. I don't even have to test this. We just know that they're not. So what do I want to do here? I want to loop through because we have like true, false, true. Wherever there's a false, it wasn't even in the components list at all ever. So if I want to, like, I need to skip through those to get like the next one. Oh, but I need them like all down too, like the horizontal line. So, let's see. Bix Blaze, hello. You just thought this will run natively on Redux OS, won't it? Redux, is that the Rust? Is that the Rust operating system? I don't know. I have no idea. That's still like in super like pre-alpha state, right? I've never installed it and like taken a look at it like very, very deeply. So I have no idea. So looking at our queries here. This is our problem, is we're looking for like this one, and we have like these. Wait a second. Message, you should be velocity, you're false. Oh, I think I screwed this up with tests. Oh yeah, I was sort of like playing around with these. These are like true, like that kind of stuff. So if I want to grab them all, I need to be able to look at the bitmap. The bitmap has entries for every single one of these, but our main one doesn't have an entry for this. And that means saying, okay, looping through the bitmap as opposed to the components. So loop through here as opposed to down here. I'll say, okay, you're true, so give me the next one of these. You're true, so give me this one. You're true, so give me this one. You're false, don't give me this one, but keep like the counter here. You're true. To answer your question, the current version of 0.6.0 for Redux. So give me this one. Count the number of falses that I go through, and it's going to be the current index minus the number of falses. So here I'm going through name and map. Okay, so we're going to get the components list based upon this name. I think that I want to do this based upon the map. So we're going to map iterate it. So this is the component map. Through here and the index of that. Meaning that outside of here, let's reset. We'll do a let mute. This can be the false count. False count. We're counting falses because we want to know how many components don't exist. So not false count, it's missing components count. It's equal to 0. This will be a usize eventually. Okay, so for index in component map, so if component map, if you're true, I have to dereference that to get the actual true false. Okay, so if component map, if you're true, then I want to push in to results, which means we need another vector in here of like these actual results. So let mute like component results. Empty vector. At the end of this, we're going to results.push component results. So now we know what they are. Okay, so if this exists, then I want to component results dot push, and then it's going to be the components list of index minus missing components count. So we push that into here. Now, if you're false, let's missing components count plus equals to 1. And then that goes through there, does its entire thing. Okay, results. I need to not take ownership of these. So this is gonna be a slice of that. So we're gonna push you, just a reference to you. Okay. So if we come back into, first of all, save you. Okay, no errors. If I run you as a test, it works. Hey, it works. Okay, so that refactor, I want to say that this is gonna be good. Entity data. So all of this code gets replaced by just this code, which is it's still not nice code, but it's a lot less not nice code, which is good. It all fits on one screen, so we can at least like reason about it easier. And that's all because I just replaced a vector of vectors with a hash map. So hash map for the win. Cheddar, hello, how you doing? Man, I don't even need to pass in the names anymore, do I? Just the bitmap. So that means in this query here, we don't need the names. So the names goes into the bitmap query, and then we use that to pass into here. Okay, so if I now do yes, cargo test, all the tests should still work, or not. All right. Deleting an entity by ID. That failed. Interesting. Deleting entity by ID. So mod.rs, let's see. That's in convert. Okay, so our cast. And we had a full error. Attempted to cast component from point. Where's my actual full test? Where exactly did you fail? That's mod. So deleting entity by ID. Okay, here, deleting entity by ID. That is you, right? Yes. Okay, so you tried to do a cast to a point and you failed. We do 2 casts in here. Right here. And right here. Oh, you're a U32. So it's this one right here. You failed. Possibly because we do a query. Okay, so our locations. So we have location and entity ID. So locations should be the first one. And IDs should be the second one. Okay, so for loop in the locations. Application is this cast. Okay. Now, if I were to tell you to go into whatever you are, which is a U32, would this one now fail because it's a U32 to a point? Actually, it won't matter. We use succeed now. Did I get the order wrong? Okay, so it's no longer give me a full error. It's now just left does not equal right. Yes, okay. So it's the wrong order. Because this is Wait, now you work again? Three and two. Oh wait, because I didn't do these. Yeah. What did I do differently? What did I give it the wrong type to cast out of? Interesting. Okay, so query found, panicked assertion failed. Left equals right. So in here we then do a world. We run our world update. We tell it to delete by the ID of what we're querying for, which is these IDs. So that's all fine. Okay, query so we query for locations. Then we get these have points. So we get a vector of that, and we have three of these worlds in here, and we're getting the one that's 10, 10, which is the middle one. So that's 0, 1, 2, like the middle one. So now we want the last query location, so position 2, essentially. Application, we borrow that. And then we want query locations dot length to be 2. So we want 2 of them out here. Okay, so this is saying on line 73. Wait a second. Line 73. On querying 73. Oh, okay, hold on. I was looking at the wrong file. Length. Oh, okay. So hold on. What am I doing here? All right, in query for entities when not entities have the same number of components. We want location name and size name. So things that have locations and sizes, and that's all. Right, I got 3 things and not 2. So I did fail with this. The Redux kernel is currently 4.6 megabytes. That's minuscule compared to the Linux kernel, currently around 70 megabytes. I mean, I agree with that, but also isn't it like pre-alpha still, which means they're still adding a lot to it? I'm curious, what is it going to be after they add all the things that make it usable in like a daily, you know, home computer or server or everything else? Is it going to be, you know, close to that 70 megabytes again? Still, I don't know what features it's missing in order to like, yeah, I don't know how like useful that comparison is now, but in the future that's gonna be a cool one. Oh, it's okay, it's meant to be okay. I don't know much about the Minix kernel. How is the Minix kernel compared? Like, how is it compare? How does a Minix kernel compared size-wise to the Linux kernel? Is that like also like 10 megabytes versus 70, something like that? Okay, so we do have a problem here still. When we're querying for this, we need to make sure that the names are all there. Otherwise, don't push them in. So like we can't just blindly push these in here. We have to ensure that all of them exist. That's why we had like the double thing, like the double for loops, which kind of sucks. The Minix kernel is also tiny. As a reference, Intel uses Minix for their Intel management engine. Okay, I'm not very like, I don't know very much about embedded operating systems, so it'll be interesting. Like maybe sometime we can play with them around. We would need like the hardware chips to like use it on, and so far I've only tested like GGEZ stuff with, what is it called? A Raspberry Pi, and not anything else. And Intel builds Minix into their CPUs. What does AMD do something similar? Or ARM? Does ARM do something similar? Let's see. You don't know? Yeah, be interesting to see, because like Intel, I don't know, like I don't feel the need to like buy anything Intel recently. Maybe if they got competitive again. All right, so in here somewhere, we have our component map. We're just pushing in, hey, you don't have it? Like, don't push it. However, here's the problem. If you have this thing, we also need to check only push if the other components need this too. QNX Neutrino can fit in the L1 cache of a decades-old processor. Oh, really? Oh, that's nice. That's not even megabytes then, right? That's just like kilobytes. All right. So, some companies that don't need it have started disabling the Intel management engine. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I don't know like what exactly is like causing. I guess people can boot that up and like use it and get around some security of like the normal kernel. I could see that. Now we have this nice hash map here. We have the index of where we are in the current map. Can we like loop through the other maps and test that out and like check to see, hey, do you all have these things? And if you do, go ahead and push that in. So in that case, maybe I can just create another function we can call here and grab it. It's like, what if I have like a private function, do other, do other components have, do other entity, okay. Does entity have all components? So if I do something like this, we're gonna have a self, maybe like we could have that bitmap. And the entity index should be a usize, and we're going to return a boolean. That was 4.6 megabytes uncompiled, which means compiled is going to be significantly smaller, and maybe even compressed after that too, which would be nice. So if I do something like this, if we take an entity index and we want to see, does everything have this in there? How would that work given our bitmap? So we want to search through these, right? Say like, okay, given an index in here, do all of you have trues? So true, oh, false, that doesn't exist. So essentially a reduce on a hash map. And the entity index gives us the down on this vector here. So if I do this in a naive way first, let's do like let mute result equals, let's just say, yes, you're true. And then we're going to return result. Then I want to loop through the bitmap, loop through each of these, and test to see if you're true here, and if you're not, we do an immediate return with a false. So then that could be like 4. We're gonna have to have a bit. Let's see. In bitmap, which this is gonna give us our component name. And the components. Okay, so if I do that, then, and I don't really care about this name at all, do I? I just care about these components. So I can do dot values, and then it's really just these components. Which gives us, okay, the vector booleans. We have the entity index in here. So if components of entity index, if you're true, we don't want to do anything. So if you're false, then I want to do an immediately return false. Which means I don't have to have this result true. We're just going to return true. Then in here, so if this component map, we have the index here. If you're true, so really, I want to do if self dot does any of all components. We have to pass in the bitmap. We may have to clone the bitmap. I want you to be a reference here. I'm not mutating it all, so maybe we'll get away with it. And then our entity index, which is just this index. So if that, then push you in. Otherwise that, I think. Maybe. No. Okay. So attempted to cast component from a U32. So that's not correct. I think okay, first of all, we need this to be hey, if you're false, then if you're true, then we have like another if statement here. If self dot does any have all components, a reference to the bitmap, and then the index in here, and then we pull you in. Expected, hash map, found, reference. Right, I need to make you a reference here. Does that make you happy? No. Okay, so we're still getting this error. Attempted to cast component from a U32. That was in the deleting. That time it's now here, trying to get this out. If we say like, hey, be a point. That kind of works. So yeah, we're getting the wrong order. So we have these IDs of index, IDs. So query results is the wrong order now. Do you always have the same problem, or is it I'm getting like a race condition? You're always giving me the same. Look at that. Attempted to cast component from point. From U32. Race condition. Race condition. All right. Because I'm iterating through the hash map. I am running into the problem where it's not guaranteed the order that we're getting in. So that's the next problem. Is it's not guaranteed to have the order. I should probably, and this would like make things a little bit nicer for us. I should probably have the query return a hash map as opposed to just a vector, and you can just extract out by what you called. So this is in entity data for this query. I don't want to return a vec of these vecs. I want to return a hash map of string and these vecs. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. That. Let's see. Bill, do you use the cargo edit tool? So I go back and forth between using the cargo edit tool and not using the cargo edit tool. What I have found is that if you use cargo edit to add something in, you have to restart Rust Analyzer because it doesn't detect that the cargo.toml file got updated unless I go into it, update it, and save it myself. which is a bit annoying. But yeah, I go back. I go back and forth because I've gotten hit by that a few different times. I forget, our hash maps sync by default in Rust. That's a good question. How could we find that out? I think if we come... This is Mint. Here we go. Auto trait implementations, sync. Yes, it is. Sync is an auto trait of hash map, from what I can tell here, unless I'm reading this wrong. Okay, so let's try this again. So we're gonna do a result. And inside of here, we're going to have our hash map, which is going to be a string of the name. And then inside of that, we're going to have a vector. And the vector is going to have the component. So it's a reference to component data. That's what I want. Okay. So then... results is going to be a hash map new. Okay, we're returning that down below. Oh, a B tree map, but need it sorted. Oh, interesting. We can take a look at that. I don't think I've tried that before. Where did I just go? Yes, you're okay. You're a reference. That is in the bitmap here. When I do the query, we're returning a hash map. But what if I return? Okay, so you called it a B tree map. Okay, a B tree map with the same things, key and value. So you're going to be a B tree map new. Then in here, you're getting B tree map. And here, you're a reference to a B tree map. Okay, so if I run you and do the test again. So attempted cast component point. It's always a point. And it's always this one test. Okay, I think that may have solved one of my problems. So thank you, Epic Blog. That's really awesome to know. I hadn't really thought about different data structures to sort of like get the power of the hash map, but also not have to deal with that. All right, so what is our attempting to cast component from point? This is in deleting entity by ID. Okay, so that is in deleting, because it is deleting entity by ID. So here's that. And here's where we cast to a point. So if I cast you to U32, you work. And if I go back and put you back to be a point, Okay, it goes back to not working. Okay, excellent, excellent. So, we have locations. We're iterating through the locations. So we're saying here, we want you to be locations, the first thing that we get out. Now, if I just reverse you, if I don't do anything else, we just reverse you, put you back, do you work? Attempted to cast component from a U32. Now this one doesn't work. But this one did work. Interesting. Okay. So we got, oh wait, and is this actually, yeah, deleting entity ID. So attempted to cast component from a U32. So now we're here. Interesting. Do I have, what do I have in here? I want to do a debug of query results. Do I have 3? So our query results is, it has, oh nice, it shows us all these. So you have U32s. So U32s came out first, then the points, and that's it. So 0 is U32s, and 1 is point. So 0 is the IDs, and 1 is the points, okay. And they're the same length, right? So 0, the 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So they're the same length. So that's all okay so far. So then for index in locations, we loop through the locations. We extract out the locations we know worked just fine. So if we put our like debug here, let's do a wrapped location dot borrow. We get these, okay. Before we get our attempting to cast problem. So we get the first one, we ignore it, we get the second one. So the locations are casting correctly. We're getting these out. Then we borrow the location and we get into here. So now we know this one in here. Okay, so wrapped ID is IDs. Here's this vector of index. No, because, okay, what is debug of IDs of index? What are you? And let's take a look at IDs and index. Okay, so IDs is IDs of index is just this one, U32. Okay, so I should be able to extract it out from U32 with its value of being 1. Our IDs, like all of the IDs are this one. So value of 1 is right here. And our index is 1. This should work. Why isn't this working? Because these are U32s. We see that. Okay, so this is deleting line 38. Yeah, that's exactly where we're, well, no, that's just where we're doing that. Okay. So when I try the cast for the U32, okay, so cast mute. This is just cast. We're gonna give it a result. An RC ref cell U32. And this casting component is U32. Attempted cast component from. Is that the error that we got? Attempted cast code from. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Where's our. So this becomes an R ref cell, U32 equals that. So U32, okay, so this is all fine. If you're a U32 else, so I'm kind of curious. Maybe explicit cast to make it happy? Aren't I doing that? Let's see. Do a debug. We'll do casting. And we're going to put in just self. Okay, so here's the casting debug. Self equals U32. Ref cell value 1. Why do I have a bool here? Then we have this self.bool. Right afterwards. So in deleting, I'm trying to cast this once. Is it actually somewhere else, like down here? Like if I don't do any of this, I don't do any of you, and if I don't do any of you, the test should run fine, right? Yeah, okay. All right, so let's one step in, one at a time, sort of like, wait, don't do that. Select you, enable you, and we just cast you. That's it. That works. Okay. If that works, is it actually down here that's failing? So then failed. Okay, hold on. Now we have, is it the delete by ID? I bet it's the delete by ID. That succeeds. Okay. We're getting somewhere. In world delete by ID, we pass it the ID, which is this ref of a U32. We take the IU32. Query result. Okay, so we query out of here. We get to be deleted. We get the entity ID. Query to be deleted. We get query results of 1. Or query results of 0. That should be true and false. And query IDs is the other one. Index component ID. Okay, so now we're going to go after query IDs to iter, enumerate, wrapped component ID. Okay, so component ID passed here. So I'm wondering, is this now where we're getting booleans? Like is everything just reversed? Did I somehow reverse these when I rewrote that logic? Like if I do this now, do you work? Okay, what the heck did I do inside of entity data for the query? I reversed the logic. I reversed, like I'm putting them in the like the wrong order that I'm expecting. It's like we have these results. We're going through the names. And then we're pushing in the components. Am I getting this in reverse order? If I... Does that reverse? Yeah, let's reverse the direction. If I do this, and we head back to deleting, and we put you back to 0, you back to 1. We head back to mod for delete by ID. We put you back to 0, and you back to 1. Okay, so we're still getting that as a problem. Don't I still have to cast a boolean on the loop below? Is that in my deleting here? Yes. Or was that in... Which one was that? Which file? I've been going back and forth. There's this one too, yeah. It does make me wonder though. I don't remember now. I know I didn't see your message in time, so I wasn't on the same file. Okay, what did I do? What did I do? Cast. Okay, so in deleting here. So first of all, let's go back to just doing this. Do I get an error? Okay, so reversing the logic seems to have helped with this. We're back to zeros, locations, and IDs is that. Okay, so we're good to go here. Wrapped location, cast, location is borrowing you. And we only got two things out, so that's good too. Wrapped location, okay, we get you. Then you should still work. Okay, so you still work. We borrow you out, and then we do the delete by ID. And so my guess is this is where it fails. Still. It no longer fails here. Okay. Cool. It no longer fails on this delete by ID. Now, how about the rest of you? No more errors there. Okay, so where is my debug statement? My debug statement is in... not here? I forgot where I put it. I put it, into casting components in here. Here you are. Okay, so now, so this means in deleting, if we run this test, I can now delete successfully. Okay, so we've got that working for us. If we do a cargo test now on all of these, we're getting these failures though. Everything is working except for these two. Querying for multiple components and querying for entities, not all components have the same components. So let's start with querying for multiple components. That is in green. Querying for multiple components. Querying for messages works. It's these two, querying for multiple components and querying for entities with not all components. So these two fails. Let's run that one. All right, so we have left is 1, right is 0. The test returned a termination value with a non-zero status code. Okay, so this is attempting to cast component from point. And specifically, where we're trying to cast to point, where's our cast? Only 2 casts, and here's this cast right here. So our wrapped locations, location name. So let's do a debug really quickly of components. We have U32 and points. We have it in the opposite direction. That's our problem. We have them in the opposite direction again. In our entity data for query, we are still reversing this. Why do I need to reverse it sometimes and not others? I think I should probably, just like for sanity reasons, return a hash map. Because location name, is it the order that I do the register or like the with component? if I like change this order around, does that change? So you're still in the wrong order. Let's, put you back. How about you? Let's register in the opposite direction. No. Okay, so that doesn't matter at all. But if I put you to like 1 and 0 like this, you pass just fine. So I'm thinking, just because like this is causing weird little bugs, and I want them to come out in the same order that I put these in. It's like, this is 0. I mean, that it makes sense to me. But we're having a problem with it. So I want to return a hash map from entity data query. So I want this to be a result hash map with string and I don't think it's a good idea to do something like that, right? And then here you're going to be I have ownership of this vector. So vec. Isn't vec always in the same order? So wouldn't this be a problem in your logic where you flip it somewhere? That's the thing, is like, if I reverse it, like I'm trying to reverse it here, but I don't understand like why it's reversing in some areas but not others. Like if I remove the reverse there, I believe this makes it work here. Now it works there, but now if we go back to deleting and we run it, now it fails here. And I don't understand why. Like, it's not that. I have to be switching order somewhere. Yeah, I'm clearly switching order somewhere. Location size. So these are all the same orders here. Here's like location and entity ID here. And I'm saying locations is 0. So that should be right there. Query IDs is 1. So that should be right there. And then down here, I get another query results. I just want location. So I'm just grabbing that out. And yeah, this should all be fine, but these are still erroring out on that first cast. And what I have to do to make this pass is say, no, you're 1 and you're 0. Or not. Cast components from U32. What line is that? From U32. So that's this one right here. But it feels so strange to me. Query results, isn't that flipped? It shouldn't be flipped. So if I put you back here like that, we run this test. you fail here. Attempt to cast components from point. So it's saying, hey, this point isn't a point. It's something else. And if I come to int data for query, and if I put this reverse on here, then you run just fine. But if I head over to querying, you no longer run fine unless I take off the reverse. Take off the reverse. And now you run just fine. So if we put these tests next to each other, what am I doing differently? Like what am I setting up here? So we register, I'm putting like size and location, like the names down here. Here, size, location. We're doing spawn entity with location first and then size. So location and size, except for this one that doesn't have a size, it just has a location. Then we have a block where we do query results, where we get location entity ID. And so here's our query location and the size in this case. Locations is to 0, and it's the first one we're doing, and IDs is the second one. Okay, then we loop through locations so loop through these locations. And then extract the location out of here. So cast it out and error right here, but not error here. It's like, what did I do? But I think if I return a hash map, then I can just extract it by name and I don't have to, it's not going to be quite as big of a deal anymore. Because then I don't have to like, it doesn't matter if like what order it comes in, I can just extract it by name. So let's do this. Back into entity data and query. So I want you to be, what did I do? I pressed the home button. So I want you to be a hash map of string, and then you're going to be a vector of a reference to component data. So you're going to be a hash map, new. Then, okay, so coming out of here, we're all fine. We have the component results here. So we're pushing in the component results that we care about. And then where we're doing results push, this is actually going to be an insert. And then our key is going to be the name, .toOwned, and then the component results. And I don't think anything else really changes here. Now, errors. Oh, right, now Now we're turning a hash map of string that. Okay. Okay, so wherever we get queries now, we have to sort of like extract this out. So the to be deleted query is actually going to be equal to self dot no, it's going to be the query results dot get, and then the query here is to be deleted dot toString. Oh no, it doesn't want to on there. Just wants that. Never mind. And then we can unwrap you, because you're guaranteed to be there, or it will yell at you elsewhere. And then same thing down here. So delete by ID, we're going to query here, and then to be deleted is our query results dot get is to be deleted. And you're going to be query results dot get and your entity ID. All right, so this is all the stuff in Asteroids. I don't care about that right now. Okay, so in tests now. All right, all of you. So you're going to be the results get. In this case, it's location. We'll just unwrap you. The results get and your entity ID. And okay, so then you're the same thing. Okay, so integration tests. More integration tests. Okay, so let's get color. Okay, this is the more colors. Results get color. Same for you. More colors. I don't think I can question mark you because you're an option, not a result. So that's certainly not going to work, I don't think. Yeah, you have to unwrap you. Or I have to convert you into an error. Okay. These are both locations, so it's gonna be the same thing. you're not going to be the same thing. Okay, so no more errors inside of here. If I run cargo test on all of BBECS, everything passes. Okay, cool. Okay, so that was like the problem for some reason is the order is like switched around. I don't know why the order is switched around. I should be doing things. I mean, they should be running very consistently, but they're not. I don't know. But it does mean that we now need to go first try. Absolutely. Woo. Man, if I had a soundboard, I can like do something with that. But I don't know what sound to do for those pass. Let's go ahead and get rid of some of these warnings. All right, so I'm not using bail here. Green. Queries equals. This isn't queries. Oh, right, because this was just like testing to make sure it worked. I don't know if I need. We can figure this out. So let's do like locations equal to queries get location unwrap messages equals queries dot get message. Okay. So we do that. Then what do we need to do next? I need to just double check like their size is the same. So assert locations length. It's the same as messages dot length. I think that's the big thing. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, let's now fix all these. All right. So this is our queries dot get now. We did the names marker to string. So it's really the same thing here. And then you're the entity ID. All of the systems. Okay. Just those two. All right, then you two, okay. Oh, didn't want that. Okay. Okay, this is a lot. This is a lot of queries now. And you, I guess. So you 4. Okay. Draw a message system. So this needs to be updated, but I think we're like close now, because like now we can get these out in the way we want them to, and hopefully it should just work. But yeah, you're gonna be like this. Okay, so if I do that, then the rest of you should just work, maybe? All right, where are you yelling at me? All right, so I didn't want to paste. What did I do? I wanted to copy. Okay, we go for that one. Almost there. What's happening here? What did I do here? This is the update mesh. I don't even think I need this code. I don't think I need that. it was working elsewhere. If I need it, I'll rewrite it, but probably better than I had it before, I'm sure. Okay, no more errors. Let's run this. What? Can it work? No, it did not. What happened? Unwrap on a none value in update mesh. Unwrap on a none value in update mesh. Okay, so line 30. So the player ID exists in the system. We try to query out acceleration, rotation, and entity ID. And you don't exist. So if I debug in here, I guess just queries. Oh, that's fun. There's so many of these. Oh, because I've got all the mesh information. I'm seeing every little bit of mesh information from here, from all the asteroids. So unwrap on a none value. The big thing to me is, which one of these is the none value, huh? Let's say I don't do any of this. All right, so can we get the sizes? No. Okay. How about the other ones? Or is it all of them? Line 31 now. So the mesh is neither. Wait a second. Meshes is... Whoa. Uh-oh. Okay, hold on. I got... Wrong one. So your size, your mesh, and your entity ID. I wonder if I like forgot to copy a few more times in there. Look! And we have to press enter to start the game message. All right. Okay. I'm actually kind of surprised that was the only place in that entire long big thing of like panic. Well, it's not really panic, but like frantic refactoring. And it worked. It worked. Okay. So first of all, create the message. You need to be significantly bigger. Let's try like 75. Let's see what you look like. And then the other thing is I want to not draw the system. So in our main library, not draw the system, not create the user. So up here, we call create player. We're not going to create the player at this time. And I'm only going to create a single asteroid for right now. All right, so press enter to start the game. I mean, it doesn't do anything yet because we haven't implemented that part of it. But look at this. Press enter to start the game, no player existing, and it sets ourselves up really nicely because the next step is going to be I press enter, that message we're going to have disappear. So we're going to delete that entity, which I think should be pretty simple, right? In our main library, we should be able to catch when the enter key is pressed. So let's actually implement the default methods. So in specific here, I don't need mouse down button event or mouse up. Need the key down button event. So many other stuff too. I don't need any of those. Just the key down button event. So that gives us our context. We have the key code that was pressed and the key mods and repeat, which I don't really care about. But what I can do here is say, okay, if you're the enter key, and well, right now let's just do like we can log out if you're the enter key. So if the key code, if you're equal to, I don't know if this enter return. Then let's just do a debug of turn hit. So if I do that, we run our code, and there, return hit, perfect. Okay, so if the key code is return, but then also I want to make sure that we don't have a player. So if let none equals get player ID, and we're going to pass it in a reference to self.world. Okay, so if let none, if we don't have a player, and we hit return. Okay, so once again, we should be fine here. Oh, unwrap you. Okay, still handling that. Okay, so basically, we know that we don't have a player. We hit the return key. Now, what we want to do is we want to find that message. So we're going to do a query. Let query equals self.world.query. And in this case, we're going to look for a vec of names. We want message string, and we want entity ID. I have to do unwraps here because it's there's no return. I can't return anything from this. Okay, so we've got that query out. Let's now extract out. This is gonna be our messages. And we should only ever have one message, but it's nice to have it like with all like the other locations, everything else. So we're gonna have messages equals query.get names message to string unwrap you. Okay, so now we have the messages. Then we need the IDs. So let IDs equals query get entity.id. Okay, so now we have the messages and the IDs. I don't know if I really care about what that message is. I'm just going to go ahead and tell it to delete. We should only have... I'm just going to say, hey, if there's no player and if there's a message, so I guess we can have, we can loop through all the messages now and delete them. So for, you know what? I don't even need the messages. We're just gonna say, hey, we're done. For the IDs, like we're searching for them, but this is all I care about. So for ID, in IDs, I want to extract this out. So let ID of reference to our data wrapper. You are a string. No, you're a U32. Equals ID.cast. Then we're going to tell the world to delete self.world.delete by ID and hand it the ID. Not borrow. And then it will get deleted the next okay, so that should make that message disappear. Excellent. And then I want to create the player. So we have this entire create player here. Now we have to pass it the context, the player size, the player ship color, the is thrusting, and the thruster color. Oh no, we have to create the player ship. I kind of wonder if we should just put all of this stuff like player size, player ship color. Should this all be inside the player ship? Maybe. Oh wait, are we putting the player size in here too? I think we are. Because I think this player size. Why is player size being passed to create asteroid? Why do you care? Oh, right, because you're trying to make sure you're not being created over the player. That would be interesting. I don't think that matters anymore. I don't think the way we're doing this is gonna have a problem. So we could probably remove that. Let's see. All of these are being added as a... Is they being added as a resource? So we have player size. We register. We do not add player size as a resource. Okay. So, okay, we need the player size here. We just have you be like 25. When we handle collisions, oh, because there's a size thing. So we don't really care about that here. That's why. So if we do a like create player ship, we need the player size. What if I don't have the player size here? And then we just say player size is equal to, what did we call it? 25. Okay. Okay. Is thrusting is just, well, okay, so you're false then. I wish there was defaults. Is thrusting is false. Okay, so let's actually say we come back to here. If we threw player size as a resource in here, so if we add the resource in here, then we're going to be able to get out of here the player size. So don't do that. Take me back here. Okay. So let's player size is equal to self.world.get resource names size to string. Okay, so that gives me this RC ref cell. Then we can just borrow you right away. So let player size. It's going to be a reference to a data wrapper of an F32. It's equal to player size dot cast. Oh, we have to borrow it first and then we can cast it? I don't know if that works. Yeah, I think I have cast pulled in, don't I? Cast components, resource cast, I do. So they're in here, but it doesn't know what to do with it. I have to make sure I have to borrow it first. Like that. Wait, is there no F32 for that? Here, resource cast for F32. Because it's not a data wrapper. It's not a data wrapper. That's my problem. That's my problem. Hold on, back here. It's not a data wrapper. It's a, let's just do the RC, ref cell. There is one for F32. Oh, wait. That's what you are. Okay, so hold on. Let's try this in one go. If you're a reference to an F32, can I just cast you here? And not do you. I can. Okay. So player size, get resource. Now can I do this here? So I want you to be a reference to an F32. We unwrap. Then we borrow. Then we cast. Then we unwrap again. Yes, we can. Okay, perfect. I mean, it's not very good looking. Maybe I can write like a utility for this, but then here, okay, so query, we get this. Okay, so for ID, we delete that, and then we need to create self, create player, hand it a mutable reference to the world. The player ships, this can be the create player ship, which is pass in the context, the player size, the player ship color, sure, is thrusting, it's false, thruster color. Is that also a resource? Oh, player ship color and thruster color are also resources. Okay. It's really pretty much this. This time you're a player ship color. And you're gonna be a thruster color. Okay, the big thing is to give you your types. So player ship color is a reference to a color. And thruster color is a reference to a color. And then, okay, I kind of want player ship equal to create player ship. Okay, so context, player size. Player ship color is thrusting is just false. Thruster color is player ship nope. Player thruster color? What did I call it? No, just thruster color. And that's it. Oh man, I thought you were working and now you're suddenly not working anymore. Oh, thank you so much. Okay, so I have to do them in like two goes. Okay, so world, get resource. We unwrap. I don't think I can borrow yet, so we have to do that, and then we can do that player size of F32 is equal to player size dot that. Okay, so then that makes you happy. Let's see. No. We have to. Can we borrow here? Yes. Okay. So then here, there's ship color. Okay. So self.world get resource or borrow. Then u of type reference to color equal to u. Okay. Borrow. Okay, so now we create the player ship, and now we want to run self, create player, mutable self.world. We have the player ship. We have the player size. That's player size. And then the location. So let's player location is equal to, so let width height equals graphics variable size and the context. So you're going to be a you're just a full point. So point new, and that's going to be our width by 2.0, our height divided by 2.0. No, don't do that. Player location. What do you return? A result. What? Dot unwrap. Oh my gosh, so many errors. What are you upset about? What? How did I get this? Self dot. Cannot borrow self the world is mutable because it's also borrowed as immutable. Oh, we have to drop. We have to do all these drops. We have to drop all of these things. But I might be able to do this by like having this like here. Oh, okay. Hold on. We'll do a wrapped player ship. Wrap player size. And I'll just drop these. So then wrapped stuff gets destroyed. So wrapped player size cast, wrapped shipped color. And wrapped thruster color. Okay. Then before we create the player, we'll have to do a drop of all the wrapped stuff. Wrapped ship color. Wrapped size. Thruster color. Player ship color. Did I call it just ship color? You're not wrapped. Cannot move out of wrap player size. Oh, right, because I can get that right here. Wrap player size. I can just do a dereference here, and then your full ownership. And that's one error. Where's my error? It's that unresolved import thing. Okay, let's see if this works. Let's see if we can like create a player. There we go. Now we can start playing. So we have our message. We can if I die, it doesn't like reset. Like that should be relatively easy. Like as soon as the player no longer exists, then put up a new message saying like, hey, you know, press enter to start again. And then we'll go forward with that. So I think we'll start working on that tomorrow. But this is really neat. Oh, thank you so much. I really like the sort of like the ECS method of dealing with all this. Makes it kind of fun to like get all these states going. Now state management with an ECS system, I'm using resources right now. I'm not sure if that's like optimal, like the best way to do, but it seems to work. It's a lot of extra code, but that's actually more of a statement about my library than about ECS in general. So what needs to happen next is when I die, I need to determine, okay, so after I die, we delete the player and we put up a new message. That's actually pretty easy. Like I might actually be able to do that right now. So let's say I do that again. That's going to be the collide with asteroids in here. Here we delete by ID, create the ship debris. We add all that stuff in. Well, what if I also do like let like the message equals create message? What is it called? It's in helpers create message. Oh, you don't know how to find it. Let's use. So in helpers, create message, create message. Okay, you just take in the message to create, which is press, let's see, you died. press return to start again. Okay, so that gives us the text, and then how do I put that in here? Insert message into world. Do I have access to that in here? I don't know if I do that. If I do create game state, insert message into world. Okay, we have our message. We have a reference to the world. The screen size, I don't know if we have that. We have the context, so we could get it. And the context, okay? So we could do that. Now we could just do... Actually, for screen size, we could just do... Oh, no, I don't think I can do that easily. We'll just do let screen size is equal to graphics drawable size and the context. Okay. You return a result. Oh, I made it for each. That's the problem. Okay. Our message. You need expected a stir, found a text. Oh, okay. Actually, I could just do this. Let's see if it's easier. World. Expected a mutable reference to the world. Found. That's what our problem is. We need a mutable reference to the world. So if I did that, then you need to be mutable here. If you need to be mutable here, then come on, go away. Then you need to be mutable here. Closure requires unique access to world, but is already borrowed. Oh, because we're iterating for each. Can we just drop? I think we would need to do some funny things with like dropping other stuff. So I don't think we really want to do this. I think we want to keep you here. So we can't do the insert into the world here. So we're gonna have to figure that out. I think tomorrow morning we can figure out how to do this. I put in a note for myself. We cannot mutate the world here. So we need to this somewhere else. My guess is like we could have a state management in like a resource and just say like, hey, player died, flip that to true or false here. And then if it's true, we'll put this message back in and then hit that, set it back to false. And then we can get an infinite cycle of dying and then restarting again, which will be nice. All right, so I think that's where I'm gonna leave it off today. It is 12:15. I am hungry. I need to go. I haven't eaten anything at all today, so I need to go get some lunch. So let's go ahead and clean up. I'm gonna leave all like the warnings and errors, close all these down. Okay, so we got that. Sounds like we had a lot of wins today. I know I wasn't sure if we were gonna get that many wins, but we ended up not. So we've done a few different things. So in BBECS, also bump the version. I'll do that later. In here, our big thing is we changed queries to return a hash map. That was our big thing there. I'm not going to go ahead and push that because you know what I can do? cd into code builds workspace, BBECS, TOML. Okay, it's you. There. Now I can push you up, and that'll auto deploy if all the tests pass. It might not, because I might have some warnings in there, and that should probably stop it. I don't remember. But in Asteroids, we had so many files changed in here. So we like removed all the errors. I guess like what was the big thing? We're now displaying a message to start the game. And this is day, what are we on now? We're on day 18 now. So I'll go ahead and push this on up. I'm doing all these commits in this way, so that way you can actually go and like take a look and follow along if you're like if you're trying to like, you know, watch the videos and see what I did each time. So that's pushed up, and with that, I'm gonna go ahead and shut the YouTube